attention please, listen carefully. There are at least 26 cats in this neighborhood, in this street and in the neighboring streets. In the street just behind you, on the corner you have got Gibsy and Scousy, and then you go further, you have Morgan Harvey, and then you've got Epic. You go 2 streets down to the left, to St. Nicholas Road, you have Doris and Ruto. It's not finished. Then you go down to North Gardens, you see Tanger, a ginger cat. And many ginger kittens, because the owners refuse to neuter him. Every year you can see some ginger kittens visit there. And then you go 1 street down, you see Kiko, the silver tie. And in the street just behind me, just off Trafalgar Street, there's a little kitten. You can see Gideon, Nathan, Ginger, Tavi Princess Sniper, and her daughter Ti amo, which means I love you in Italian. Well, they say cats have 9 lives, yes? I think in my counts, there are at least 9 lively streets in the neighborhood, thanks to their existence. Cats, 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 mad about cats. I think cats are like the diversity of cultures around the world. We don't know much about them, sometimes we don't know nothing about them, and that's why we start assuming and start building up superstitions, stereotypes about them. Things like, old-fashioned things like black cat bringing bad luck, black cat. And we start to build stereotypes about world cultures from a very early age. A mountain of stereotypes when we were tiny little kids. I started very early. I remember in my childhood, back in Turkey, in my hometown, in Kurdish provinces in southeast Turkey. It was very cold in winter, very snowy, snowing night. Thinking about what we had there and then, and comparing with what we had here last week. It's incomparable. So yes, the houses didn't have any toilets inside, and we should go out. And one day, I remember I was about 5 years old, I think, and I was out on the snow with my cousin. We were just doing a peeing competition. We didn't have TV, we didn't have computers, so we had this kind of entertainment, pleasure games, all organic, you see, nothing technical. And so we were doing this peeing competition, who can pee to the longest distance. Yeah, we didn't have TV. 2 years later, TV arrived in town, and 1 year later, the first toilet roll. I'm talking about late 60s, very early 70s. And anyway, that's another story. So we were peeing there, just one straight line, because we didn't go to school, we didn't know how to read and write, so we didn't have anything. Just one straight line. And later on, we went to school, we learned how to write, and we improved the competition. Things like, who can write the longest words faster on the snow? And you cannot write with both hands, so it's very difficult. And that's another story. So we're just doing this competition, one straight line, very long urinary session. I asked my cousin, I said, how come these Kung Fu masters like Bruce Lee speak Turkish? Because our only visual entertainment was the local cinema. And we always had martial arts films from Far East, from Hong Kong, from China. And I asked him, how come Bruce Lee could speak Turkish? And he said he heard from his brother that, his oldest brother, that Chinese people speak Turkish. So we developed a stereotype about people from China, from Far East. So what they do is, they just come to a certain age, they go to Shaolin Temple, they all study different disciplines, including doing studying and mastering Turkish language, not speak. And so you shouldn't mess with anybody from Far East. Any Chinese tourist, don't mess with them. They would chop you into like a salad. Up, like this. And so we started to build stereotypes, and years later we learned that they just had a script and then translate and dub it into Turkish. So we were very, very innocent children. We believed everybody's lies. And I think it's something like untranslatable languages that we had in our mindset. It's like shepherd's language. When shepherds manage a herd of sheep and lambs, they use a language and sheep and lambs, they understand it. It's like, and you cannot translate this into English. Can anyone in the audience translate this into English or into another language? No? Oh dear. I think we have a kind of silence of the lamb situation. Yes, so yes, stereotypes start to grow from a very early age. But I think animals say something, they have a language. Again, I remember one anecdote from my mother. My late cat Idris in Turkey, who died after waiting to see me for one last time for many years, because I was living in exile abroad. He died without seeing me. Anyway, that's another story. One day, my mother comes home and then sees Idris, our ginger cat, and the phone handset in the hallway on the floor. And the handset is off the hook, and Idris is purring into the handset. Something like that. And my mother grabs the phone, and he is the man at the other end of the line. And the guy is so upset, saying, "Who are you? Why are you breathing on my face? Are you a pervert? Are you a psychopath?" And then my mother says, "Sorry, sir, I apologize. Apparently our cat made this call, and I apologize on his behalf." The guy said, "What? A cat making a phone call? A local phone call? These people are all nuts," and hangs up. So I think Idris said something very, very important, but these gentlemen didn't appreciate it. In fact, you can also teach cats some words in human language. I remember when I lived in London some years ago, my beautiful ex-wife, she taught our late cat, Deniz, a few words in Turkish. And Deniz, the black and white cat, his favorite word was mama. Mama means food in kids' language in Turkish. And unusual for a cat, Idris was awake for most of the day. Usually cats sleep up to 23.5 hours a day and then wake up, eat and then sleep. But he was awake, so we kept hearing this word, mama, 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 all day long. Yes, I think you can teach them words, and Dennis was a living example of this. And did you know in some Mediterranean countries, Mediterranean folklore, they thought that any cat who speaks any human word should be possessed by satanic spirits or demons. A cat saying something in human language. Hello, my dear. Oh, of course they cannot say 3 words. So, get rid of it. Possessed by demons. So we create all these mindsets in our minds by ourselves. Yes, I forgot to introduce myself. I work for a charity, giving advice to people and dealing with queries by email, also by phone, like this one. Shouldn't keep them waiting. Excuse me for a sec. Hello? Yes, good afternoon. Perfect. Charity information line. My name is Umit. I can help you? Yes? Okay, so, okay, sir. So you learned the phrase, but you didn't write it. You want us to translate it. Okay, which language is it? Okay, no problem. It's my native language. I can translate it for you. Can I hear it on the phone from you, please? Yes, please? Okay. Okay, yes. Before I translate it for you, sir, may I ask you a question? Do you have a sister? No, you don't have a sister? Okay, yes. I think in this case it will hurt you less, because what they taught you during your holiday in that particular country doesn't mean I'm very pleased to meet you. It means something very, very bad about your sister. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you had this horrible experience, but please don't feel that you have to distance yourself from this community just because of this bad experience. You know, there's a Mediterranean proverb which says, a cat bitten by a snake once will dread even the rope. So please, don't be discouraged. And we are always here to support you. And I will be emailing you the correct translation for I'm very pleased to meet you. Yes, yes, the correct translation, which is pronunciation guide. And you can call us anytime. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye. Lovely tune, isn't it? Yes, yeah, very lovely tune. It's a song from Lebanese singer Mohammed Iskandar. The song is called Jumhuriyet Albi, Republic of My Heart. That's okay up to this point, but the lyrics are very, very bad. It's very sexist. It says, oh my beautiful daughter, you don't have to work. Daddy has an awful lot of money. You know, when women work, they attract the visual appetite of male bosses. Remember the boss of your mother looking at your mother's body, and I almost killed him, things like that. So, yes, nothing is as it seems. So I say one should check both sides of the coins. Blind faith is not good. Excuse me, another call. Hello? Yes? Speaking? Oh, BBC Belfast. Hello? Hello there? How is the weather? Okay. Yes. Yes, we can help you with that. Yes, I know the colleague who referred you to me. Yes, I spoke to him. Yes, no problem. So you want the contact details of the forensic scientists and the university lecturer in West Bank, Palestine? No problem. Have you got a pen? Oh, of course. Yeah, I'm old school. Pen and paper, bricks and mortar. Yes, of course you are putting it on the system. Okay, so it's 00 970 for West Bank. Yes. Please send them a text first and tell them that you got the number from us, and call them after that. Yes, they have factual, impartial information about findings of the massacre in Jenin refugee camp. Yes. No problem. You can call us anytime. All the best. Hello? Yes? Yes, no problem. Yes, we have this type of information. We can help you. Yes. If you want, we can email this information for you, the job search links. You can look for part-time job. Or you are more than welcome to visit our office. If you give us a day's notice, you can come and you can use one of our computers, do your job search, and you can have Mediterranean lunch with us, no problem. Yes, we are here to share, we are here to support the community. Yes. Yes, you're right. Yes, I agree with you. There are a lot of stereotypes. Yes, yes. Some members of the community think that Spanish people are coming here to claim benefits and just sit down, siesta all day long and not work and get our jobs. Yes, yes. This happens in several countries, many countries. Stereotypes are bad. Yes. We'll make sure that we'll support you till the end until you get a part-time job, which shouldn't interfere with your studies at universities. You have a very good topic to study. Yes. No problem. Yes, no problem. Thank you very much. See you soon. All the best. Bye-bye. very easy to assume, isn't it? You just sit there and say, I think it must be such and such, it must be like this and that. There's no need to give a lot of guidance to your brain. Come on. So, yes, it's very easy to assume. And it happens regardless of the level of the demography or culture in a town, in a city. I remember one example. 2 years ago, we had the People's Day Festival in our beautiful city, highly literate, highly intellectual, beautiful city, Brighton and Hove. And we thought perhaps we can make a wider introduction of the diversity of Mediterranean communities, similar differences and different similarities. Because some people think Mediterranean is just chorizo and paella, and then pasta and pizza. We go to Greece, it's kebab, souvlaki, pilaki, sirtaki. It's not all that. So that's why we had several stalls, information stall, handcrafts and everything. And we thought perhaps we can come up with this brilliant idea. We built a globe, stretch film, and we put names and posters and photos of the countries, all countries, in and around Mediterranean. You know, there are 42 of them. So we're just rolling it on the floor along the festival site to help the visitors to explore more about these countries. So we're just rolling. One of the visitors, a gentleman, he suddenly stopped. Hold your horses! He seemed to say. We get this, and then we stopped. And he pointed his finger at several countries. Algeria, Libya, Tunisia. They're African countries, aren't they? Why are they on this map? And it took a while for us to friendly explaining that the sea bordered by these countries is also called Mediterranean Sea. So, in other words, Mediterranean is not just Spain, Italy, Greece, and other cheap flights, holiday destinations. So it takes time to build up all of this and enlighten people's minds and hearts about how diverse even a tiny grain of salt is. Stereotypes, yes. And we see a lot of stereotypes in the news. Syria is on the news. Yes. What we hear is just blood. Bombings, explosions, assassinations, sniper fires, nothing else. The media doesn't let us sit down and think that there may be other things in the countries of the world. I remember one local lady who contacted us last year, a local lady here. She saw some of our postings about Mediterranean cats. And we had a long chat. And she gave the impression that she was surrounded by fierce warfare waged against her by loneliness. She was living on her own, only with cats. And then, as we continued to chat, she said, it was sad to see all these horrors our cats have been going through. Every year on 5th of November, bonfire day. And cats and dogs, all the pets, all the animals, and some human beings, I include myself, try to take a cover from these never-ending explosions, fireworks, all night long, noise pollution. And we human beings are so thoughtless. We think, we can just enjoy ourselves as loudly as possible. Who cares about cats? When the lady talked about this, I said, there's a striking similarity of what people are experiencing in Syria, with a difference. Cats, pets, some human beings are suffering this on a massive scale, maybe once a year in this country. But cats, animals, human beings, all living organisms, all creatures in Syria have been going through with this violence, with the explosion, with these scary feelings on a daily basis. And then I suggested this lady, perhaps I can put her in touch with somebody in Syria. A lady who has cats, which confines to her house because of the fear of going out, and then finding a refuge with her cats, a safe haven in her cats. Also, the lady in Syria also spoke Turkish, English. And the lady here liked the idea. That's how tales of a cat in Syria, somewhere in Syria, and tale of a cat here stretched long enough to build a bridge of communication between two peaceful souls and brought people together. That's how people form the bridge of solidarity, supporting each other. About two different but equally unfair, unjust situations. Two injustices in two different countries. I think about the global cycle of intolerance, violence, and never-ending passion for power. And I'm trying to find answers. Sometimes poetry helps. I wrote a poem recently, and we read it out in our local poets. Poetry is good. Poetry is good. Please, everybody can write poems. Please try to engage in a poetry group or form your own. I'm a member of Brighton Mental Poetry Society. We get together every week. So, this is as far as I remember from my poem. People ask me why the history of the world is written in blood. I don't know, I say. Perhaps we are led to believe that we must love learning how to hate each other. And we must hate the idea of learning how to love each other. Let us help each other in removing the rusty hinges of the heavily enforced doors of our hearts first.